A $100,000 bond has been set for a Scottsbluff man accused of sexually assaulting a woman at her home. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, 43-year-old Jesus Hernandez of Scottsbluff was arrested last Tuesday morning on a charge of forcible first-degree sexual assault. Court records say the victim was sleeping and woke up to Hernandez sexually assaulting her. She was able to describe the clothes that he was wearing to officers, who then made contact with him several blocks away. Hernandez is scheduled to be back in court on September 11th to have the case bound over to district court. Well, authorities say 3 people died from injuries in a collision Friday afternoon in Goshen County. According to the Wyoming Highway Patrol, troopers were called to a 2-vehicle head-on crash near mile marker 112 on US 85 north of Lingle around 3:45 p.m. Investigators determined a northbound Chrysler minivan crossed the center line and collided with a southbound Toyota passenger car, with the driver of the Toyota and both occupants of the van succumbing to their injuries at the scene. The identities of those involved have yet to be released. Driver inattention and fatigue are believed to be potential contributing factors in the crash, which is still under investigation. And troopers with the Nebraska State Patrol were responding to an incident on I-80 near Big Springs Saturday afternoon when 3 patrol units were stuck while parked on the shoulder. NSP says 3 troopers were dispatched around 3 p.m. Saturday to a report of 2 people arguing on the shoulder of the roadway. After their arrival, and as the troopers worked to calm tensions between the man and woman who had been traveling together, a Honda Civic drove onto the shoulder and struck one of their cruisers, pushing it forward into the other 2 cruisers. They immediately rushed to help the Honda driver, who was transported to Ogallala Community Hospital with what are believed to be non-life-threatening injuries. The initial incident was resolved with no citations and separation of the 2 parties. The crash remains under investigation by Keith County authorities. We'll have more news right after this.
Looking for free instead of fees? Platte Valley Bank can help you keep your finances moving forward with no ATM fees. Whether you're headed to the lake, the mountains, or just to the grocery store, you can enjoy the freedom of free ATM access anywhere, anytime. Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
Benzel Pest Control has been the Wyoming and Nebraska area's most committed professional pest control company. We have 4 generations and nearly 50 years of experience serving Nebraska, Wyoming, and Colorado, as well as certified entomologists on staff. So whether you're dealing with spiders, wasps, rodents, or any other unwanted visitors, give Benzel Pest Control a call today for an estimate at 888-229-2128 or visit our website at benzelpestcontrol.com.
Welcome back. The City of Scottsbluff is looking at General Obligation Highway Allocation Fund pledge bonds to help fund 2 upcoming road projects. The city currently has 2 large road projects, one with concrete work and one with asphalt work. Scott Keene with Piper Sandler presented to the City Council last week and says these are fairly common.
Currently, the city has outstanding a Series 2018 and a Series 2020 bonds. The Series 2018 bonds mature in 2024. The Series 2020 bonds mature in 2025. So we traditionally keep these to be pretty short funded amortizations, keep the interest costs down and the entire cost of the financing down as low as we possibly can.
These latest bonds will not exceed $4.25 million, with interest not to exceed 5.5%. 2 more readings of the ordinance need to be completed before the bonds could be issued. Well, volunteers are needed to hold flags as veterans taking part in the latest honor flight to our nation's capital roll through Scottsbluff. The veterans will be escorted to the Scottsbluff's Elks Lodge on Thursday, September 7th by Patriot Guard riders and law enforcement. All community members are welcome to join and are asked to come to the Elks Club on First Avenue prior to 11:45 to obtain flags and begin lining the streets. There will be a program, service, and lunch provided for the veterans prior to their send-off to their next stop on the way to Denver and then Washington, D.C.
Life is crazy. Pain is stressful. How can anybody concentrate with these busy schedules? Now you can. This is Ben Moravec coming to you from Hydrozen, a float therapy business right here in Scottsbluff. I'm here today to let you know we now have memberships for $49 monthly. You can guarantee yourself at least 1 float per month. You know how floating keeps your muscles relaxed, your joints relieved, and your brain clear to think? Now you can float at a reduced rate each month. Inquire today at hydrozenfloat.com or call us at 308-63-FLOAT. Hydrozen. Unplug and recharge.
Better sleep and better health can be found at Western Sleep Medicine in Gering. Since 2006, Western Sleep Medicine has offered the lowest cost sleep testing either in their independent sleep laboratory or the privacy of your own home. You have control over your health care and your out-of-pocket cost. All insurance is accepted for a much lower cost than the regional option. If you need a sleep study, ask for Western Sleep Medicine. They've helped thousands of people over the years and want to help you. Western Sleep Medicine. Better sleep, better health.
This is KNEB.TV Ag News from the FNBO Ag Desk. FNBO, the great big small bank.
This year, one important question for cow-calf producers to be asking is, could heifers have more potential value than a steer? While bulls are important genetically, cows will provide and deliver the vast majority of what the calf needs when it comes to from conception to weaning. Market Journal's Bill Dodd is standing by with more on this topic. Bill?
As cow-calf producers head out to tag new calves, many may prefer to find a new bull calf as opposed to a heifer. This is due to the fact that most bull calves will become a steer and will produce more weight, bringing in more money per pound when selling at weaning. However, in some cases, heifers may have more potential value than a steer.
Yeah, so I think most cow-calf producers, if they think about the value of calves they sell at weaning, that bull calf that's born is going to become a steer. He's going to be worth, $150, even $200 more potentially than the heifer mate born at the same time in a typical market. Now, sometimes those things change, especially in the market we're moving into now with a short cow herd inventory. Heifer calves are going to have more value, but heifers really provide a lot of opportunities for cow-calf producers. You can sell them, of course, at weaning. You can retain them, and then you can breed them. You can sell the opens, the non-pregnant heifers, as a feeder heifer. Those bred heifers then can enter your herd, produce calves for you, and then they're gaining in value, especially as you look at the value of bred females right now. Then you have the option to sell them as a bred female as well. The thing that also offers some opportunity with heifers is that they're breeding stock. So from a tax purposes standpoint, if you retain them more than 2 years, when you sell them, they're taxed at a capital gains rate rather than as ordinary income. So that's something to visit with your tax accountant about, but that can have some pretty significant tax advantages as compared to a steer calf that would not be recognized as breeding stock.
Naturally, the cattle market and long-term cattle cycle factor into these decisions, as well as the structure of any particular cow-calf operation.
We typically see what we call a cattle cycle in the United States, where we see cow herd numbers build with inventory as cattle prices go up, because cow-calf producers are being more profitable. So if you're more profitable, you want to have more calves to sell, so you grow your cow herd inventory. There's some things that influence that as well, things like drought and things like that result in cow numbers dropping. But then as cow-calf producers run into having More unprofitable years, as they have more calves to sell, typically then they reduce their cow herd number. As the cow herd number reduces, you have less calf to sell, which eventually drives prices back up. So it's this long-term cycle. Right now, we are moving into a period of time where cow herd inventories have gone down for a number of reasons, both cattle prices and drought. And so we're in a period of time now where cow-calf producers are going to be in a strong position, and prices are going to probably be higher because we're in a shorter inventory. So feed yards and those who harvest cattle for beef are going to be looking for cattle, which they're going to be shorter in supply. That drives prices up. So as you think about your cow-calf operation, being able to have some flexibility there in terms of thinking about how I market cattle, when I market cattle, maybe varying the amount of replacement heifers you keep, being able to sell more bred females when market prices really are demanding those can really change profitability. It's worth taking some time to sit down and look at, as you continue to think about the prices that we're going to see in the next few years, what cattle are going to have the most value. And then as you think about your own operation, as you think about the cattle you have in inventory, how can you capture value from what the market wants? And, that might be an opportunity to do something different than you traditionally would, but don't miss the opportunity. Put a number to the value of the cattle in your herd, what's happening with their value, what's going to happen with depreciation, and can you find a way to make that work for you financially?
Depending on the structure of your cow-calf operation, there could be outstanding opportunities to capitalize on the value of heifers when working with market conditions and capitalizing on the tax advantages. When taking these factors into account, there are good opportunities for cow-calf producers to leverage a heifer's potential value.
Tri-City Stormwater presents Stormwater 101, an illicit discharge.
At Renewal by Andersen, they make the best windows and patio doors you can get. But they've also set the gold standard for service. At Renewal by Andersen, their signature service is second to none.
It's old school quality. This type of service doesn't exist outside of Renewal.
Renewal by Andersen's signature service, trust, respect, care. Renewal by Andersen. You'll be delighted like so many others are. Visit rbawyoming.com now to book your free estimate.
Let's take a look at your community calendar, brought to you by Riverstone Bank. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. We're local and we love our community.
Tired of feeling stuck? Not sure if you are on the right track? Platte Valley Bank can help keep your finances moving forward with checking account options to fit your lifestyle and an online account chooser to make finding the right account easy. Control your financial future with helpful budgeting tools and automatic savings plans. Now is the time to enjoy the ride with Platte Valley Bank. You belong here.
And finally tonight, the public is invited for a fundraiser for two local nonprofits who are hands-on advocates for at-risk children. The 15th annual Light of Hope will be held Thursday evening at the Gehring Civic Center. Capstone, who interviews children for law enforcement and child protective services, and CASA, who are court-appointed advocates for the children, will be hosting this event to share their stories and raise awareness. Capstone's Monica Shambaugh says everybody is invited to the Light of Hope and bring a free will donation.
Anybody can come. We would like people to come and just visit, hear about both of our agencies, because we're both going to speak this year a little more than we have in the past, because we've had some nationally known speakers. This year we're having Lori Rodriguez Fletcher speak, and she's a local mental health therapist. She has an office not only here in the Scottsbluff-Gehring area, but one in Alliance and one in Sydney. And she's going to talk about the mental health of our kids right now, and just some of the things that we're seeing as far as the lack of mental health therapists and things that our kids are dealing with.
The 15th annual Light of Hope begins at 5 p.m. on September 7th at the Gehring Civic Center. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. We'll see you here next time.